Ladies and gentlemen, this is Darnell The Playmaker Sallins, and this episode here is an episode to remember the man that was Kobe Bean Bryant. As we all know, tragedy happened when him, his daughter, along with several other people, died in a helicopter crash Sunday morning out in Los Angeles. On this episode, you will hear from different people. Dallas, Alex, my brother, my high school brother and teammate Bruce Bradley, and a few others, on what Kobe Bryant meant to them and what he meant to the game of basketball and what he meant to life, period. This is going to be a hard episode. It's going to be a touching episode. But I feel obligated to do an episode because I am the basketball guy of the Playmakers Ball podcast. And at the end of it, you will hear my personal thoughts, my personal opinions about Kobe Bryant. So thank you for taking your time to listen to this episode. There will be 2 breaks in this show. It won't be commercial breaks. One break will have an 8-second run with just music in the background. And another one will have a 24-second break. They're going to have music that's running in the background in the honor of Kobe. Kobe, thank you for all the memories, Kobe. Now it's time for us to tell you what we remember most about you. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Playmaker Ball podcast. Wish it was under different circumstances, but things happen, and I couldn't do another episode without doing this one. As everybody know, on this past Sunday, we lost a legend. We lost a real true trailblazer of the game of basketball. Somebody that not only impacted me, but impacted other people across the country, across the world. So, as y'all heard the introduction earlier, y'all gonna hear what he meant to the state of Florida from people in Jacksonville, Pensacola. Got somebody from Dallas going to talk. I got people from Los Angeles going to come on, all over the country that's going to speak and we'll get their thoughts on Kobe Bryant and the unfortunate passing of his. So to start us off, I have Alex with me, who's all the way out in Dallas. How you doing?
I'm doing great, but I am one of the millions of people around the world mourning the death of Kobe Bryant.
And even though he doesn't do basketball with me, I had to bring my co-host on, Dallas Flynn, out in Pensacola. How you doing, my brother?
Not good, to be honest.
So, without further ado, Alex, say what you got to say about the man that was named Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant was very unique because, mark my words, gentlemen, there will never, ever, ever be another player just like him. There will never be no other Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant was one of the players who loved the game so much. He achieved so much. He loved playing with teammates. He loved the sport. He loved making an impact. And even in his retirement days, he did his best to impact the sport further. Nobody's had a career just like him. I mean, everybody has their own unique careers. But his career just went in a way. I mean, I really love the way it went. I mean, starting off with a three-peat in his young days, and then after that, when Shaquille O'Neal was traded to Miami, he became the face of the team, and he helped the team achieve more success. I think Kobe Bryant not only impacted the Los Angeles Lakers, fellas, but I think he impacted the NBA. But in my opinion, guys, he's not only a hero in the NBA. He's a big name in American sports history. And he's a hero all over the world. I mean, he's got fans all over the world. You know, France, Australia, all over. So the whole world's affected by his death.
So let me ask you this: what was the scene like in Dallas when news broke about Kobe?
Well, even Dallas, even Mavericks Nation, we respected Kobe. It's not about the rival. It's not about the rivalry or the fact that he destroyed Dallas many times. The fact is, he was respectable. We respected him because he played the game the way it is. Dallas didn't beat him because Dallas just couldn't get the job done. So we don't hold a grudge against Kobe. I mean, Kobe did his job and we didn't. But Kobe Bryant impacted us because See, right now Dallas and the Mavericks, we have a young player named Luka Doncic, and I really feel like as a strong supporter of Doncic, and I follow his career, I write a lot of articles about him. There wouldn't be Luka Doncic if it wasn't for Kobe Bryant. So Kobe Bryant paved the way for so many young guys. I mean, think of how many guys there wouldn't be in the league if it wasn't for Kobe. But to answer your question,
I think I read a tweet where Mark Cuban said nobody in Dallas is gonna ever wear 24 again.
yes, the Mavericks. I love this. The Mavericks are retiring the number 24 in honor of Kobe, and I love that because it shows how much it's like I said, it shows how much he meant to the NBA overall.
Yes, it's truly heartbreaking, and the scene like in Dallas was pretty heartbroken. Like it probably was like everywhere else, heartbroken. Yes.
It was, yeah.
You woke up or you was doing whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden, hey, Kobe has died, man. It shocked everybody.
See, the first thing that came to mind is after the Mavericks, after the infamous sweeping of the Lakers in 2011, what came to mind is how Kobe in a press conference just simply, complimented Dallas, praised Dirk Nowitzki, praised the whole entire team, and just admitted defeat. And I said, now that's a guy that's the guy we respect.
I remember that series. That's that series on that series ended on Mother's Day, and Dallas destroyed LA.
I know, man. We all remember Andrew Bynum striking J.J. Barea, Lamar Odom fouling out of the game early. I mean, the whole Lakers team just became. I don't explain, but Kobe Bryant finished it. Kobe Bryant didn't cause any problems. Kobe Bryant admitted defeat, and that was it.
That's Alice right there on his take on the great man that was Kobe Bryant. Dallas, people don't know this, but you know your basketball. So, floor is yours, my brother.
As I kept processing it yesterday, I started thinking less and less and less about the basketball player that Kobe Bryant was, because at the first level, you think of the finality. You think of the fact that, like, none of us really have an answer to life's biggest questions. And when death happens and when people die, they get those answers whether they wanted to or not. And as a person, your heart goes out because Kobe Bryant, more so than a lot of athletes I've seen in wrestling, football, basketball, even track, I haven't seen many athletes be able to attack life the way they attack their sport. The reason, as just a person, before anything else, I think a lot of people should learn that once one phase of your life is over, that doesn't mean that your identity is gone.
Oh, no, not at all.
You could tell that Kobe Bryant, in his media career, you could tell that Kobe Bryant and his passion as an advocate for women's basketball, you could tell that Kobe Bryant was on the way to becoming a statesman on the level of what Magic Johnson enjoys being a statesman for the game of basketball. You could tell that Kobe Bryant was about to be basically that next, that institution. But, then when you go down to a deeper level, to go out like that, to be 41, to know that, he started even getting a helicopter because he didn't want to deal with LA traffic and he wanted to get home in time to pick up his kids, to know that he had to comfort his daughter. He had to simultaneously think that he wouldn't be able to go home to his wife and his other children, to know that there are other parents and another child on the helicopter. I don't really think of the 5 championships. I don't really think of the 18 All-Star appearances. I don't think of the MVP. I don't think of the gold medals. I just think to myself that, he was more than content after basketball. And to think that he only got really 3 years, we're only in January, to think he really only got 3 years of actually looking up at the sky every day and wondering, what do I want to do today? I don't have to be a Laker today. I don't have to carry a team to rings today. I don't have to be the face of the franchise today. What does Kobe Bryant want to do today? And the fact that he only got 3 years of that, because you got to consider he's like one of the youngest players in NBA history. He got drafted at 17 straight out of high school. So for his entire life up to the past 3 years, he was Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, and that's what gets me the most, because there's a lot of guys who aren't doing that well in retirement. So,
See, what you're saying is Kobe Bryant didn't just want to be remembered as a basketball legend. He wanted the world to know that he's a father, he's a family man.
yeah, I mean, all the way down to saying that he doesn't need a son. His daughter can carry on his legacy for him. Stuff like that. Stuff that really, when you think about it, few dudes, period, have the courage to say and think in that mindset. But when Kobe Bryant does, it's just like, of course, it's Kobe. Of course he would say that his daughter can carry on his legacy. Of course Kobe Bryant is going to probably nurture from the ground up the next face of the WNBA. And that's even another layer. I'm not a father yet, but I'm a husband who wants to be a father, and to know that Gigi isn't going to get the chance to go to UConn like she wanted, to know that Gigi isn't going to get the chance, know that the WNBA and the college basketball world and the high school basketball world, to know that so many things were robbed in that helicopter crash, personally and just the world. It hurts, man.
It hurts all of us because it hurts me because I remember I've been through, like, the friends of Kobe who are mourning. I know what it's like to lose a friend, especially at a young age. It hurts everybody because it's like I said, we all think about the fact that he has young children, and I believe he had recently had a fourth child. I believe he has a 7-month-old daughter, and this breaks my heart for her because she's never gonna know. She's gonna learn one day who her dad was, and that her dad that he died, when she was just a baby. And she's the daughter of an NBA legend. She never got to know. So the whole thing, I mean, to say that the whole thing is heartbreaking, guys, it's a goddamn understatement. Because, see, even like we saw Doc Rivers, got teary. I'll be honest, I did too a little bit because it hurts us. Whether you're a Celtics fan, whether you didn't like Lakers or not, it's not about that. It's about the fact that we lost somebody that meant a lot to our country, who impacted on us. Us sports writers, I mean, we love writing about guys like Kobe. And when a guy that impacted our careers in journalism dies like that, it hurts us too, because he was part of our life in a sense, if that makes sense.
So I want to thank Alex for coming on and sharing his thoughts about Kobe. Well, you probably gonna hear more from Alex in the future. We'll work some things out, see what we got going on. But also, I got to thank my brother Dallas, my co-host, for hopping on. He normally doesn't talk about stuff if it's not football or wrestling. But I thank you for coming on and saying what you had to say about Kobe Bryant.
It's my honor. It's my honor.
So, with that being said, I got more people lined up for you guys. Coming up next, me and Justin gonna talk because Justin's out in LA and he gonna give us what the scene is like then down in Los Angeles. So we'll be back. Justin, man, with me, if y'all didn't notice, one of the new members of the Playmakers blog. One of the first things he did for us was go live and show the scene down in LA yesterday about how LA was taking it, the news of Kobe Bryant's death. He's in LA right now still. And Justin, before I let you speak on Kobe Bryant, what's the scene like? Pretty much a day after, 24 hours after what happened to Kobe.
Well, I just came back from work. I work down in Inglewood, which is about a 15-minute drive from downtown LA, or where the Staples is, where the Lakers play and the Clippers play, of course. And just today was still busy. It was just a very quiet day. none of my colleagues or none of my coworkers were talking about anything really. Today was just a very uninspiring day. The kid in me is for sure heartbroken. Um, I'm at a loss of words to even explain how the level of magnitude the situation is. But the city is just very quiet, and it's very uncharacteristic of Los Angeles, being the glitz and glamour, the city of angels and everything. Well, it's just a very uncharacteristic day in LA.
Mm. Yeah, it's tough. One of the biggest stars in the world reside in LA.
Yeah, and I was down there at Staples yesterday afternoon, about 3 hours after the news broke to everybody, and just a sight to see. So many Laker fans, so many LA natives just came to pay homage and to show their respects for the Bryant family, and just a sad day. Very, very meek, very gloomy. Just a very sad day.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you up too long, so let's speak on Kobe and what he meant to you. That's pretty much what we're doing in this episode. We're just talking about Kobe. So
I grew up here in LA. I grew up in Santa Monica, which is about a 15-minute drive again to Staples Center. And actually, it's funny because living in LA and being a local to LA, I wasn't actually a Laker fan. I actually was completely anti-Laker for the longest time, and part of that was because I was actually a big Suns fan growing up with Steve Nash and those boys, because I am Canadian, and Steve Nash is a fellow Canadian himself. But anyways, I was completely anti-Laker because of how good Kobe Bryant was. Kobe Bryant, in a way, from my perspective, personified what a villain was to your hero. And even though Kobe Bryant was this ultra competitor, and everyone talks about the Mamba mentality and how important he was, with that respect, I hated Kobe Bryant. I hated how good he was. I hated how he would always destroy Phoenix in the last couple minutes of games. I hated how clutch he was. And in a way, that envy and that dislike towards Kobe Bryant pushed me to become even better basketball player when I was in high school. And they say, wait till your idols become your rivals. Well, he was never really one of my idols, but he was always someone who set the standard for how it was to play basketball at the time. And he was the inspiration for a lot of kids in the Los Angeles area. Even though I hated Kobe Bryant, I remember my high school. We all had team shoes, and they were a pair of Kobe 5s. And that's just how important he was to Los Angeles, to Southern California, to the game of basketball, all throughout NBA and all throughout the world. Just his impact and his influence on the game, and there's just no replicating it. I can't even see any player, maybe even LeBron, but even then, there's still a lot of kids today in the league that are active that look up to Kobe Bryant, and Kobe Bryant was the main inspiration for why they play basketball.
yeah, for those who don't know, the main reason why Justin's on board, he'll be doing the college basketball drafting when the off season is happening for college basketball. March Madness is done and getting ready for drafting in the NBA. Justin will be covering all that for the Playmakers blog. So the reason why I bring that up, his daughter Gigi. From what you know, was Gigi going to take the baton from Kobe and continue what Kobe left the game of basketball with?
I would like to say so because both Gigi and Kobe shared that competitive nature and that inherent Mamba mentality and that drive to win, that drive to become greater than you are at the moment. I would like to say so, but um, just understanding Kobe from a fan's perspective, even though Kobe Bryant would like his legacy to continue on with his daughters, I believe that he is a man who wanted his daughters to carve their own legacy as players. Whether that was in the WNBA, whether that was in a different industry for their careers. Just knowing as a fan Kobe Bryant's mentality, his moxie, his swagger, and his mindset on others when it comes to bestowing wisdom on the people that he cares about, even though it's not his legacy, or even though Gigi holds the same name as Kobe Bryant. I'm sure he wanted Gigi to carve out her own legacy and to pave her own way as Gianna Bryant.
Let's leave off with this. Your finest moment of Kobe Bryant.
I remember, I believe it was 2010. That was the finals with his fifth championship
Against the Celtics, I remember.
Against the Celtics, and I don't recall. It was in the Boston Garden, and I don't remember if it was game 3 or 4, but there was a stretch where in the second half they were within one possession against the Celtics, and Kobe hit something like 4 straight 3-pointers on Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and Tony Allen, who were guarding him, and those threes were off of isolation plays and either step backs or pull up jumpers. And it was that moment where I said to myself, there is no player that I've seen dribble a basketball that can score like Kobe Bryant within my lifetime. Because, we could always say Kareem, or we could say Karl Malone, or we can say Jordan. But I have never seen a player throughout his career evolve into how Kobe was at that moment, where he was an unstoppable force and kind of had that mentality of, I don't care what you're throwing at me, I'm putting the team on my back and we're going to come out of this with a W. And that was the first time I've ever seen a player with that attitude back it up with his game. And that was the moment where I felt like Kobe Bryant was the most skilled player I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes.
All right. You guys will hear more from Justin. He'll come on when I do college basketball and give you some updates on what's prospect for college looking good to go to the NBA, stuff like that. That's a prelude until he gets his show going with us. I mean, he does it on a weekly basis. So, Justin, thank you, man, and look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Darnell. Take care and be safe. That's the best I can say right now, because nothing is guaranteed in this life, and life is so fragile. So please take care of yourself, take care of your family, and just God bless, okay?
All right. All right, people, I'm back. I got one of my basketball brothers with me, Bruce Bradley.
Sir.
I had to bring him on because he seen the game. He know how I played the game. and he can tell you from verbatim what I've been saying is pretty much true. But before we do, Bruce, a legend, icon, whatever you want to think of, man. Kobe Bryant.
Yo, man, crazy. It's it's a kind of just unexplainable feeling that kind of came about yesterday. I was driving in the car on my way to my place from my parents, and I was in a group text with my cousins, and I seen one of my cousins. They just typed like ... Kobe died. And I was like, all right, man, what kind of joke is this? Like, you must have been on one of them little prank websites or something like that. And so I was almost pulled up to my spot. So I looked it up, and I was like, I saw a helicopter crash. And I just paused because I knew it was for real. Like, I was like, the way stuff been happening lately, like, I've had some close friends, like, kind of pass, and just the way other stuff been shaking, I just knew. I say, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's something in the air or what, but like I knew it was real, and that junk sunk. It hit me heavy, man. It was like Kobe, because of his kind of immortal nature, because of like he was such a perfectionist. He gave off that, he had that aura as if he couldn't go down. Like, we would never see him in a headline like this. That's just, he was just one of those people. In the way he carried himself on the court, off the court, in the press conferences, like, he just perfected everything that he did. He did it with that at a different tier than everyone else. And it was shocking, man. Like, I mean, talking about a guy who pretty much, like, I feel like for our generation, our age group, he was you could make an argument that he was a solidified GOAT. He was the MJ of our era, because of what he was a pioneer for the game in ways. He was ahead of his time, so I don't want to keep going. I'm sure we're going to get into some things, but yeah.
People heard this. People probably seen my posts. For those who probably got questions and stuff, Bruce would tell you I was not the hugest Kobe fan. Matter of fact, I couldn't stand the Lakers.
Same.
Couldn't stand the Lakers. But Bruce played basketball with me for junior and senior year. And Bruce can tell you, who did my games mimic the most?
Play like Kobe.
It mimicked Kobe. I can't explain it it's hard to explain, but you can tell the level of respect I had for Kobe Bryant, because I played like, but I didn't like the Lakers. Like, I wanted them to lose every game. But it is amazing, because I know I had to have you on. I'm gonna have Trey on a little later, because y'all can speak to the fact of how my game looked it like Kobe.
Yeah.
When it came down to it.
Yeah, man.
The only thing I didn't have was his mentality. If I had that,
we've been over with. But like, yeah, definitely the way you the pace that you played was very Kobe-esque. Like how you would, and kind of remind me a little bit of T-Mac, like how you would kind of you had moments where it was calm, it was like, you at the top of the key and you kind of read the defense, and then it's like you attack, and when you had that agile, that quick first step, when you attack, it was explosive, you know what I'm saying? But like, it was hard to gauge when you would attack because of like how you were postured, you know what I'm saying? Like the same way Kobe was, like, you know, the whole Mamba-esque mentality, man. Like that's just, I feel like him and T-Mac kind of had that thing going, but Kobe just kind of perfected it. Like he was just one of the most unpredictable players on the court, just because of just one, his insane ability to do everything, and two, like because of that play style, I feel like. So for sure.
So while we still got a little bit of time on, your fondest memory of Kobe?
I knew you was gonna ask me that, and I knew I was not gonna be be ready for that question. Cause there's so many freaking so many to choose from. But what I told myself, I said, just I go with the first one that came to my head. Um, and if I'm gonna go with the first one that came to my head, honestly, bro, like it's kind of like lumping some together, but all of Kobe's late game, one-on-one moments. I'm not even.
You were talking about his one-on-one moments to my the ones down
Yeah,
the
the ones down the
stretch.
stretch. I'm not even necessarily alluding to his buzzer beaters. I'm talking about the down the stretch, like last 3 minutes, ISO, um, ISO, and create a shot out of nothing plays. Like you know, and over the years, like that changed on his go-to moves and his go-to shooting. Like when he started getting older, he perfected like this floater that he would do with, I think, his left, either hand he could do it with. This floater he would do when he got like right in the paint, you know what I'm saying? Like and of course the fadeaway, the MJ fadeaway, which he kind of made his own Kobe fadeaway. One of my favorite was when he was playing the Trailblazers. And do you remember when he was like, he had picked the ball up and he was like, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 feet behind the 3-point line. And he had picked the ball up so he couldn't dribble. So, and he did like this ridiculous turnaround twist fadeaway from like 35 feet out. And I think it was ending overtime or double overtime. But I watched that highlight countless times. So that was one of them that I remembered. And
My fact wasn't Scottie Pippen and Rasheed
I
Wallace on that
believe
team for
so.
Portland?
Yes. Yeah. I believe. Yeah. I believe it was a playoff. It was a playoff game. Um.
I think that's the year everybody thought Pippen was gonna finally win a ring without
Right.
Jordan.
Right. Because they was hot. Like that team was hot. I think Zach Randolph might have been on that team too. I'm not sure. Um. But man, that was one of them plays. I watched countless times on YouTube and just like seeing like how was this dude, because you could see the way he released these crazy shots. You could see they were focused shots. It wasn't circus like. It was like, you know, it's like he knew how to adjust the force he was letting the ball go with, his jump, you know what I'm saying? Like he just was just smart, and his muscle memory was crazy, like kind of like how Steph is. Um, but yeah, any of those moments, especially in the playoffs, where like those last 3 minutes of the game where he just goes straight Mamba, you know what I'm saying? And he just kind of like how Jordan did, just made plays out of nothing, man. Like that's where I revere most as a hooper. And it was just like, if I can get that quality, I can be distinguished from all other hoopers. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, my brother. I had to get you on, man.
What's up, man? Appreciate it. Thanks for including me, man. This is just
So I got more guests lined up to speak on Kobe, just to show y'all like that here in Florida, Kobe was huge.
yeah, big time, bro.
So, like that's my brother Bruce, my high school brother. My other high school brother, I'm gonna get him on. Trey Winbush, I'm gonna get him on shortly. Got some more people lined up for you. Then I'll finish it off with my personal take on Kobe.
All right, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, our coverage of the remembrance of Kobe Bryant continues, and finally got one of my brothers on. He been wanting here, but finally got him on. James
Man, what's up,
Terrell,
man?
how's it
Man,
going,
I'm
my brother?
honored to be on the book, man. It's been like you said, man, I've been wanting to be on for a while. So, man, thank you for having me.
Yeah, pretty much, Kobe Bryant. We're just gonna talk about it. Talk about the man, the legend. What's your thoughts on Kobe Bryant as we remember him?
I just want to say, first of all, man, this whole death, man, has caught, I think, all of us by surprise. Man, Kobe Bryant is, I believe, not only one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but he is one of the greatest icons of our generation. Man, Kobe made such an impact, such an impact on this generation, not only in the world of sports, but just in the world in general. Man, Kobe taught us, man, life lessons with his work ethic, with his mindset, with the way he thought and how competitive he was. That it wasn't just a basketball thing for him, that it was a way of life. And man, I'm just, man, it's a tough thing. It really is a tough thing. Number one, to realize that someone as big as Kobe Bryant, that even his life can be cut short without preparation. And I think that makes it just real surreal. Then we can't forget his daughter, Gigi, which is absolutely sad and heartbreaking. Man, really just goes to show how short life is and how quick life can change. So, man, my prayers are with Miss Vanessa Bryant and the Bryant family.
Let's talk about what did Kobe mean to you, because you're a basketball fan, you're a Miami Heat fan. So, what did Kobe mean to you?
I think Kobe to me was beyond basketball. Kobe was about, if you want something, go get it. If you want something, you can obtain it. Can nothing stop you? That life is not about excuses. That life is not about what you can't do and who's the reason you can't do it. Kobe had a mindset that if he wanted something, that he was going to get it. He didn't care about opponents. He didn't care about situations. Kobe, to me, really was the epitome of hard work, dedication. Waking up at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, getting his day started even after he retired, getting his day started working out, shooting hundreds of shots, running a few miles a day. He was the epitome, man, of hard work. And I think that's what made him such a great player. I don't think it was his talent, because we look at NBA, man, it's a lot of talented people. But what separated Kobe was his mindset and was his hard work. And so to me, he's just a representation of, if you want something, you have the power to go get it. That nothing should stand in your way as an excuse. And I think that rings louder to me today than anything else about his life.
Definitely can't argue with that one. Definitely, he had the mentality and he went and got it. It's definitely true. Thank my brother James. You guys can listen to James. Him and his wife Sierra, they have their own podcast, Faith Talks, and they do a great job when they do make these episodes, and I'm proud of them. Do what y'all do on these episodes when y'all do them. and keep that same energy and mindset that you just spoke about when you talk about Kobe. Y'all keep
Right.
that same
Yes.
one when y'all do y'all's. Y'all, there's so much in store for you guys, and just think of it like
Shoot,
Kobe would
man.
do.
Man, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you, my brother, and we're gonna continue on talking about Kobe Bryant as I got a couple more guests to come on.
All right, people, ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard from several people on this episode talking about Kobe Bryant and what he meant to them personally and stuff like that. You heard from Alex, Dallas, my brother Bruce. I supposed to have got some more people on here, but things happened. Unfortunately, it couldn't be on at the time. So before I go on, one of my brothers, Ken Moore, he texted me his thoughts on Kobe, and I'm finna read them right now. Here's what brother Ken Moore had to say. One, the best to ever do it. The closest thing we ever saw to MJ. He was impacting a new generation of ballers with his daughter, so it was a really tragic loss. You heard from different people how tragic it was, how surprising it was, how you didn't want to believe it at first, and it was a joke. But as more media outlets and like CNN, ESPN, CBS started reporting on it, they started to sink in. So as I close the show out with my personal thoughts and what Kobe Bryant meant to me. 8th grade, I want to say 2006, 2007 year. Reebok Middle School. Miss Harvey class English teacher in my English class. We had to do book reports. Did one on Michael Jordan, did one on Tiger Woods, and I did one on Kobe Bryant. And that's when I learned about Kobe Bryant. I already knew about the basketball player, the NBA player, but I got to look inside his journey to the NBA. His father, Joe Bryant, played international, played overseas, stayed in Italy for a good deal. That's how Kobe is so fluent in Italian. So he can speak different languages because his dad played overseas. That's why he knows how to speak French, Chinese, along with English and other languages like Spanish and stuff like that. Kobe was the type of person who was dedicated to whatever he wanted to do. As my brother James Terrell said earlier, he had the mindset that if he wanted it, he went and got it. And that's what he did when it came to basketball. One of the things that I found fascinating, that he loved soccer. He was a big soccer fan. And as much as he loved the country of the USA, I think he was a big French national guy. I think he loved the French national team. I don't know if it's Man U or Manchester that he loved. It could be Chelsea. It's one of them three that he loved watching. And when you're talking about Premier Leagues. Born in Philly, 1920, in August. Born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on August 23rd, 1978. Went to Lower Monroe High School, where he finished playing there. He announced that he was going to the NBA in the year 1996. In 96, he was drafted in the first round, the 13th overall pick, to the Charlotte Hornets before being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe, he was already fascinating. He already had the charisma, the character. His game backed it up. super talented in that time. Slam dunk champion. They made some playoffs, everybody. And if you've been watching Get Up and First Take and all these other stuff, they talked about his first playoff year and where he airballed 3 times against Utah. That didn't stop Kobe. He came back and he made sure it never happened again. Before you knew it, Shaq left Orlando and went to LA. He joined up with Kobe. You didn't know a dynasty was coming, but it came. Phil Jackson became the head coach. Was it, I want to say, in 2000? Before you knew it, here come the dynasty. Their first championship win was over the Indiana Pacers. Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, Jalen Rose. That's the series when Kobe went from just a interesting, exciting person to watch to superstar status. A game down in Indiana. Shaq fouls out in the fourth quarter. Kobe puts his team on his back, and they ultimately win that game. I believe it was I think the game went in overtime. Kobe puts the team on his back, and that's when you knew Kobe has officially arrived. They went on to win that series. The Indiana chances were stripped from them by the performance of Kobe Bryant. Then before you know it, they did it back-to-back. And then the third one, a beatdown of the Nets when they had Jason Kidd. And I believe Vince Carter was on that team too. I could be wrong, but then they win again. They went in 2005, but they ran into Chauncey Billups, Rick Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace. And they lost. That's when the troubleness between Shaq and Kobe started. Shaq ultimately left, went down to Miami, helped Dwayne Wade catch the title. And one of the best final performances that we ever saw when Dwayne Wade put his team on his back to win 4 straight games against the Dallas Mavericks to win 4-2. Kobe Bryant had his down years. He's had his injuries, torn ligaments, ruptured Achilles. Kobe was injured quite a bit. Lakers struggled quite a bit. Pau Gasol comes in. Andrew Bynum comes in. Derek Fisher returns. In 2009, Kobe Bryant and Los Angeles Lakers are back in the finals to face the Orlando Magics, my Orlando Magics. Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis. That was just a year after they went to the finals against Boston Celtics, and the Celtics put on a show that Kobe would never forget. When they just thrashed the Lakers in 6 games. A beating like none other in the finals history. Come back against the Orlando Magic. Beat Orlando in game 1 in overtime. Courtney Lee missed the game-winning shot at the buzzer in regulation. The game goes in overtime. Lakers win. Game 2, they come back and they have they had the best shooting performance you have ever seen in finals history. Before you know it, the series is tied 1-1. And then Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers took 3 straight in Orlando, winning the series 4-1. While Dwight Howard and Jamar Nelson sits on the bench, Kobe is celebrating his 4th title and a finals MVP. But to Kobe, that wasn't the sweetest moments for him. That wasn't the sweetest one. Because the following year, it was a rematch. Rivalries renewed. Boston, LA for the finals. 2010. Garnett and the crew against Kobe and the crew. Game 7. Staples Center. All eyes is on this game. This is what you want to finish the season. A Game 7. Everything on the line. Kobe Bryant was not going to be denied. Kobe Bryant put on a show along with Paul Gasol and Derek Fisher. They win that series. Kobe is a 5-time champion. A second Finals MVP. A second year in a row. And even after that, Kobe still wanted more. He still wanted to continue to work on his craft, continue to get better, continue to help his other guys, the younger guys. He knew his time was coming up, but he still loved the game that much, and he still wanted to go. More injuries happen, more embarrassing losses happen, like the one that Alice talked about earlier when it was on Mother's Day in the early 2010s. A beatdown took place where the Mavs just destroyed the Lakers. Matter of fact, that would be 2010 if I'm correct. As the Mavs went on to the finals, took down the Miami Heat led by LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Kobe still got up every day, continued to work on his craft while he still played the game. Didn't stop. Lakers struggled. But there was one game left in Kobe. Final game, 2016. He's at home going against Utah. A Utah team fighting for a playoff spot. Coming in fighting for a playoff spot, but was ultimately eliminated because Houston won that game. On the other side, you had the Golden State Warriors going against the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Golden State Warriors were going for a 73rd win of the season, going for a record to beat the 72 Bulls. Though that was a great month for Golden State, but most of the sports world and televisions across the world was on Kobe Bryant's last game against the Utah Jazz with Gordon Hayward, Sheldon Mack. I want to say Derek Favors was on that team. And they was fighting for a play. They was fighting for the 8th seed. Even though they didn't get in because Houston had won, they still played their game. Kobe struggled at first. I mean, they were ESPN. We played the game on Monday night. They struggled at first. Team was losing. Team was down double digits going into the fourth quarter. And then Kobe showed up. I think Kobe scored like 35 points in the second half. Most of it coming in the fourth quarter where he was just hot. When he touched the ball and shot it, it was going in. It didn't matter. When he left the game with a 60-point barrage. Everybody remembers the 81-point game he did against the Toronto Raptors because it was the second most game ever scored. But if we being honest with ourselves, probably the most memorable moment from Kobe Bryant as an NBA player, his final one, scoring 60 points and leading a comeback victory over the Utah Jazz in 2016 as he is walking off as a basketball player. Kobe Bryant was somebody that I didn't like. I didn't like Kobe Bryant, the basketball player. I didn't like the Lakers. I still don't like the Lakers. Even though LeBron's on the Lakers, I still don't like the Lakers. I want LeBron to them lose too. That's just the way I am. But out of any celebrity, any athlete, there's nobody I respected more than Kobe Bryant. My respect for Kobe Bryant is 100 times more than the hate that I have for the Lakers, the dislike I have for the Lakers or him. I respected him so much. My game wanted to be like Jordan, so much, so bad. I was like everybody else I was a 90s baby, 91. And like everybody else that who born in the 90s or before, wanted to be like Jordan. Then my love went from Jordan to T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. As you heard, my brother Bruce spoke earlier. I had some T-Mac in me. But more than ever, more than anything else, when I played that game and when I stepped on that court, I felt like Kobe. And I played like Kobe. If I wanted to shoot it, I was going to shoot it. I knew how to read the defense and what move to make to get to my destination to get my shot. Kobe impacted a lot of people across the world. United States, Italy, France, China, UK, Australia, you name it, Kobe had an impact. His final year, 2016, Kobe Bryant was the most served jersey in China. People down in Australia at the Australia Open wearing Kobe jerseys in tears after Rafa Nadal had defeated his opponent, and they tried to talk to him about Kobe. If Serena won, they got eliminated earlier, I would have loved to hear what she had to say, because Kobe came to watch her. But that's Kobe, the basketball player. That's the guy who left us with this. That's the guy who left with a career average of 25 points, 5.2 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 20 years with one team, 20 years in Los Angeles. His playoff career was 25.6 points per game, 4.7 assists, and 5.1 rebounds a game. So even in the regular season and in the postseason, Kobe was being Kobe. He left the game in 2016 as a 5-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP, 2008 NBA MVP, 2-time scoring champion, 15-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA, 12-time All-Defensive Team, 18-time All-Star. He's now fourth. He was third when he left, but now LeBron passes him. Now he's fourth all-time in scoring with 33,570 points. Full-time All-Star MVP, 7-time first-team All-Defensive, 10-time first-team All-NBA. Kobe Bryant was somebody that you had to respect no matter what. He was that dude. But off the court, out through retirement, a loving father, a loving husband. His daughter, Gigi, was going to take the reins from Kobe and keep the legacy going. Kobe said it on the Jimmy Kimmel Show, and you heard it all over throughout whatever network you watched throughout this time, as everybody was remembering Kobe, as he was on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. And he said people would ask him or tell him he needed to have a son so that he keep going. And Gigi's right there saying, I got this. She loved the game of basketball. She wanted to go to UConn. UConn did a tribute to her when they played Team USA, the number 2 jersey and some flowers on the bench for the whole entire game. You've seen justice from the NBA and basketball throughout everywhere. 24-second violation to start the game, 8-second violation to start the game. And just letting the crowd in every arena chant Kobe. That's how much he meant to the sport of basketball. Not just the NBA, but the WNBA. Coach K, Duke's head coach, said it. He said it. Kobe enjoyed representing his country in the Olympics. 2-time Olympic gold medals with Team USA. Both of them with LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Dwight Howard, and the crew. Something he enjoyed doing, something he loved doing. He loved it, his team, but even more so, during the Olympics. He enjoyed the scenery. He enjoyed watching others. Michael Phelps and his swim meets. Serena Williams in tennis. While watching USA run track. Kobe, he was all business when it came to basketball. He was the mamba. But outside of it, he enjoyed life. He enjoyed himself. He sat there and watched other athletes play and learned about different sports. One of the fond memories. Most people will remember him winning the Oscar for his retirement poem called Dear Basketball. When he was retired, that was turned into a mini cartoon video. He had his own show called Detail with ESPN. All the Kobe's shoes, sneakers, whatever appear that you want to do with Nike. But Kobe was always learning. Now, I'll never forget, he wanted to write books on every sport, not just basketball. He wanted to write a book on tennis, a children's book on tennis. And he was at the U.S. Open. He watched Rafa Nadal play, he watched Roger Federer play, he watched Serena Williams play, and he watched Coco Gauff play at the U.S. Open. And he was enjoying every bit of it. He wanted to do a tennis book, a golf book, a soccer book, a football book, all children's book. He had already lined up and made what he was going to do. Kobe was never a step behind. Kobe was always 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps ahead. That's just who Kobe was. Kobe was always a man on a mission, but he never let the mission overtake what others was important in life, such as his wife Vanessa, his 4 daughters, and just teaching others and helping others in whatever they wanted to do, especially those who love the game basketball because of him. His high school down in Philly named their gymnasium after him, the Bryant Gymnasium. He had his own academy school, which where him, Gigi, and the other 7 passengers was flying to. Unfortunately, they didn't make it, as we all know. Kobe loved giving back. As you can tell, as some players, they just couldn't play. Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, and most likely there was others that couldn't play. Because Kobe meant that much to the game and to them personally. You heard from the people on this podcast. You heard from other people on other podcasts. You heard from those who are on television. Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, Jalen Rose, Jake Williams. You heard from a lot of people. You heard from those who are famous and who are on TV every day. And you heard from those who are not famous and do podcasts like I do, because we love talking sports and we love doing what we're doing. Even those who don't talk sports even talked about Kobe, because that's how impactful the man Kobe Bean Bryant was. And as I leave off on this episode today of this time of remembering Kobe Bryant, allow me to pay homage to the man who I played like, even though I wanted him to lose every game that there was. Because there's no other man, no other celebrity that I respected more than Kobe Bryant. So with that being said, thank you for hopping on. And this one's for Kobe. Mamba out.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.